Climate change will directly impact my community by affecting the local estuary.
Homes and animal habitats.
Our winter season.
Many parts of Chicago and its suburbs.
Forced migration.
Extreme weather.
Tourism. Loss of crucial marine species.
Agriculture.
When we look at the world around us, we see that these things and more will be impacted by the climate crisis. There is no doubt that our lives will be changed drastically by the climate crisis. So the question is, why do we have to go out of our way to learn basic things about the climate crisis? And why isn't the subject of climate being taught properly in schools?
Many people don't understand the risk that climate change poses to life as we know it. The lack of climate education in schools and among adults across the United States is a major contributor to climate denial and misinformation. When it is taught in schools, the material is limited and doesn't truly cover the scope of an issue as important as the climate crisis. Without proper education, communities will be unable to prepare themselves for the effects of climate change, and this crisis will be that much more difficult to fight.
I'm a junior at a Northeast Illinois high school. My school never mentioned climate change except when they denied it.
My school taught me about climate change in 5th grade.
I was never taught about climate change in school.
My school first brought up the concept of climate change in 6th grade.
My school taught me about climate change when I was in 6th grade.
My school first taught me about climate change in 11th grade when it was required for my biology and physics class. Despite 80% of U.S. parents supporting climate education for their kids, 10 U.S. states still do not have any legislation requiring minimal climate education in public schools, and the federal government has none. In many of these states that have not adopted this curriculum, there are efforts to teach students that humans are not the cause of climate change. Despite the 86% of teachers who believe climate change should be taught in schools, many teachers are not allowed to teach it because of the state or the school. Even though the majority of adults in the U.S. believe that climate change should be taught in schools, there is still inadequate awareness and education on the crisis.
We need to promote the importance of climate education. It is necessary to implement rules that mandate schools to teach about the causes and effects of climate change.
We need to reach out to our communities and teach them about this crisis, educate friends and family, collaborate and share ideas of how you think you can help in the fight against the climate crisis. Consider starting a club or school group, join a youth climate organization, write something for your local newspaper, or distribute a flyer to your community to educate them about the causes and impacts of climate change.
One of the best ways of creating change is by reaching out to your local officials. They have the responsibility of listening to you and fighting for the people in your community. If your schools lack the necessary social and environmental education, you can fight for comprehensive legislation that will change that.
As an education-based organization, Earth Uprising USA is working on campaigns and projects to bring comprehensive and accessible climate education to youth and communities all across the U.S. and push for mandatory climate education in schools.
Climate education is a crucial thing in order to understand climate crisis. Unfortunately, inequality is rampant throughout our schools. We are seeing that students who are not taking as advanced science courses are not learning about climate change, and if they are, it's one of the basics. In the more advanced courses, the devastating effects like environmental racism and the concept of climate justice is not taught.
When we are taught about the climate crisis, we can make thoughtful decisions that protect our coasts, preserve our ecosystems, prevent the loss of wildlife, clean our oceans, make a sustainable economy, and create a world where all people have access to basic resources for generations to come.
Our planet is indescribably beautiful, and if we do not try to protect it, that beauty could be lost forever. So we must take this day to remind ourselves that the health of the earth is fragile, and if we continue to ignore the damage that is being done, soon there will be nothing left.
So let's come together to fight climate change and allow this world to flourish once again. Happy Earth Day from everyone at Earth Uprising to you.